One, two, one, two, one, two. Let's get it. Damn. I'm getting this stuff started without my tea. I don't like that. I don't like getting started without my tea, son. So, being that I got to get started without my tea, I'll have you know we have the most explosive and impactful Kamala Harris rabbit hole stuff on the internet. Candace Owens, Tariq Nasheed, all these guys, all of them, all bullshit because they won't expose the truth. Now, what made me do this video today, besides having a good time, is they said on the news that Joe Biden is upset at Kamala Harris. They say Joe Biden is upset at Kamala Harris. I'm like, what? That don't even make sense. Oh shit. That don't even make sense. So, Flying Low, what's good, man? We got this rabbit hole janking. I'm gonna just start with this. Let me know if you hear this.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Chad. Who made aviators popular? Oh, thank you. It's such an honor to be here with you tonight. These are incredible times, aren't they? So much is at stake. In Chad Griffin, this community has a leader fit for these times. So let me begin by saying thank you, Chad. And thank you also to your mom and dad, Betty and Butch, who are also here with us tonight. When I was 13 years old, I stomped down the street of my Willow Grove, Pennsylvania.
Now, what you're listening to, like we often say, you see these people on CNN, Fox, and all that, it's all, they know how to hold character. When you see these people here, full swag, full liberty. I love it, man. I'm just warming up while we get the tea straight. Look at that white woman. Look at that white woman.
Thank you. Hey, Chad. Who made aviators popular? Oh, thank you. It's such an honor to be here with you tonight. These are incredible times, aren't they? So much is at stake. In Chad Griffin, this community has a leader fit for these times. So let me begin by saying thank you, Chad.
Miss Jill Biden, whatever your name is, ma'am, who are you talking about? Who is this secret group? How come I'm not involved? How come the people that I know don't know and not involved in this group where you guys are coming together, feeling joyful and festive, everything's good, money's flowing, how come this is such a secret society? It pisses me off.
These are incredible times, aren't they? So much is at stake. In Chad Griffin, this community has a leader fit for these times. So let me begin by saying thank you, Chad. And thank you also to your mom and dad, Betty and Butch, who are also here with us tonight. When I was 13 years old, I stomped down the street of my Willow Grove, Pennsylvania neighborhood and knocked on the door of a boy named Drew. Drew had been making fun of my little sister Bonnie, who was just 9 years old at the time, throwing worms at her again. And she was terrified to go back to the bus stop. He was a serial offender, and I was tired of it. I had no idea what I was going to say to him. So when he opened the door, I pulled back and I punched him right in the face. And then I ran as fast as I could. I hate bullies.
1 2 1 2. I'm just making sure I'm heard.
At the Biden Foundation, we have several pillars: helping middle-class families like the ones Joe and I grew up in, supporting military families, and advocating for community colleges. Now, some people have asked us, why did we make advancing LGBTQ equality one of our pillars? And there are a lot of answers. The families and the friends we've watched struggle with prejudice and bigotry. Friends like Sarah McBride, who you may know from her speech, who just spoke, who is a Delawarean, but we know her as Sally's daughter, our family friend. And as a teacher for more than 30 years, a lot of teachers, I hope, I watched my students wrestle with who they are. Through their writing, I get a window into their thoughts, and it can be upsetting to see the hate they've had to deal with and the rawness of their pain. But for Joe and me, what it really comes down to is that there is nothing that makes either of us more angry than a bully. There's nothing that's more unfair or unjust than people using their power to try to make other people feel small, to tell them who they are or what they are capable of, to say their identity doesn't belong. Whether it's someone picking up on my sister or people telling our friends and neighbors that their love doesn't count, there is nothing that makes us want to pick a fight more than that.
One, two, 1 2 1 2 1 2. Look at the room. Look at the room. Look at the room of the bigwigs. Look at the room of the bigwigs, B. That's what this is about. This ain't about Michelle. This ain't about Barack. I wonder what's going on with my live stream. I'm not getting a good read on it. I know I'm getting a read on this. Pardon the pause, pardon the pause. I got to get this right. We're still live. Somebody in the chat, let me know if everything's flowing well. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay, everything looks good. Now let's go back to Dr. Jill.
That's why we knew that the challenges facing the LGBTQ community had to be part of the Biden Foundation work.
Here we go. Once again, LGBT community had to be part of Joe Biden's work. Understand something. This is before Joe Biden got elected. This is before, let me make sure. 2018. This is 2018, yo. So this is before Joe Biden got elected.
We knew that when the history books are written, we want to be on the side of equality.
When the history books are written, we want to be on the side of equality. What does that mean? What does that mean? That means that there is no hatred for Joe Biden versus Kamala Harris. Don't believe that. Don't believe the bullshit. There's no hatred between these people. Joe Biden's wife said they want to be on the right side of history before he even got elected. I mean, Kamala Harris is the most powerful woman in the world. Understand, where Joe Biden and them are talking at, Kamala Harris been a part of it since 1999 and probably before that. So this whole Joe Biden, Kamala Harris has a beef is complete bullshit. All right?
The LGBTQ community had to be part of the Biden Foundation work. We knew that when the history books are written, we want to be on the side of equality. And let me tell you, it's been a real privilege for us to get to work with you. The courage, tenacity, and resilience of you, our brothers and sisters, is inspiring. Joe and I feel incredibly lucky to call ourselves your allies.
Ma'am, why can't you be allies for everybody? Why is this specific? What is the exclusion about? I thought it was diversity, equity, and inclusion. Why are you excluding me from this party? It's a messed up thing. Hold on, man.
For us to get to work with you.
Man, what about me? Why y'all have an exclusive secret society?
Are written. We want to be on the side of equality. And let me tell you, it's been a real privilege for us to get to work with you. The courage, tenacity, and resilience of you, our brothers and sisters, is inspiring. Joe and I feel incredibly lucky to call ourselves your allies. Some of you may have read Garth Greenwell's novel, What Belongs to You, about the loneliness and struggle of closeted desire. In it, Greenwell wrote, "Love isn't just a matter of looking at someone, but also looking with them, of facing what they face. All of us deserve someone at our side, facing life with us." So that's why I'm proud to introduce the man who's been at my side, an ally and champion for equality, a man whose life purpose stems from the profound commitment to civil rights, a man who always speaks from the heart. Please join me in welcoming my husband, Joe Biden.
Anybody that knows what's going on, does this look like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris has beef? You can't believe this news. Can't believe none of this bullshit. They try to say Obama was talking to Joe Biden like, yo, we want you out of here. Listen, Michelle Obama is at the same place that Joe Biden and them speaking at on a different time. This is when Barack Obama just got elected.
to vote is the smartest move we made in this country. And Thursday will be the 45th anniversary of when Martin Luther King stood up in front of the Lincoln Memorial and told this world about his dream for America just 45 years ago. And we all know that our country's journey toward equality is not finished yet.
Our country's journey towards it. They keep putting Martin Luther King and Coretta Scott King, and hey, what do we know? They say Coretta Scott King for sure. Pushed the GLBT movement, and they just been building. And like I said, now Kamala Harris is shit. This place where Michelle Obama is speaking at is the place that Kamala Harris been a part of since 1999. There is no discrepancy between Biden, Kamala Harris, Obama, Biden. Listen, they have a real organization, coalition that they are building. And the thing towards the black man is this. They know. That's the good part about it. They've came and infiltrated the black community so much that they know that the black people are divided, right? And they know that they could take all of the civil rights that the black people died and fought for, and they know that we won't be lawyers and stuff like that, people who push legislation and things forward for civil rights for black people. So they took it and put it on the rainbow thing. That's the only thing that Umar Johnson and them, they got right. That yes, they took the civil rights from the black people and excluded them. And then they got like Joe Biden foundations and all this other stuff going on based under the civil rights laws and acts. Knowing black people are too stupid, not together enough, won't organize, not educated enough to come together, women and men are separated, that they could take it and run with it. And guess what they was always looking for? Allies. Allies. You ain't got to be gay. Just be an ally for what we dealing with. What do the allies want? The allies just want everything to be accepted and have the conversation. Now, what is the cherry on top of the mountain is Kamala Harris being president, not vice president. Okay? That's the cherry on top. They already have all the power. They already put everybody in office where the agenda that they place, whether you deem it good or bad, will be moved forward. So, as a black man, you should feel at a loss, fam.
Right here in this room. It's been 5 years since Lawrence versus Texas and 39 years since Stonewall, but still, we've got work to do before we achieve equality.
What was that?
We got more to do before we achieve equality. Now, as a black woman that was the president's wife of an alleged black man, what more is there to achieve as black people? But that wasn't the play. That wasn't the fight. She ain't never came around black people and talk like this about equality for blacks. But she gonna mention Martin Luther King, but place it under the rainbow flag. What the hell?
Equality is not finished yet. We know it right here in this room. It's been 5 years since Lawrence versus Texas and
What room is that? All right, let's go back to the room. Let's go back to the room, y'all. Let's go back to the room. In this room, this is a serious room. There we go.
Guys.
There we go. There we go. There we go. There's the room. There's the room. Don't include you. There's the room that Michelle Obama's talking about. Don't include you. Unfortunately. Unfortunately, this room don't include you. Oh, man. Yeah, you black people are crazy, man. Not y'all. I'm talking about Ricky Smiley. Ricky Smiley's not invited here. D.L. Hewley was invited. Tyler Perry's invited. Spike Lee's invited. But Ricky Smiley's not invited here. No way, no how. This is a different type of room.
Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What a wonderful crowd. Thank you. Thank you. Please.
Look at the room. That's who Michelle Obama's talking about. The room. Let's get it. Michelle Obama's talking about the people in the room. Pay attention.
And told this world about his dream for America just 45 years ago. And we all know that our country's journey toward equality is not finished yet. We know it right here in this room. It's been 5 years since Lawrence versus Texas and 39 years since Stonewall, but still, we've got work to do before we achieve equality.
What was that?
This week, we are going to celebrate just how far we've come and how deep our shared capacity is to break through any barriers that stand in our way to the progress of this nation. And hasn't this been just an amazing year? Or 19 months or This decade of 2008 has just been amazing. It's been extraordinary to see.
2008 has been amazing. Let me tell y'all niggas something, man. They've been planning this shit for decades. This is before Joe Biden got in office, yo. This is before Joe Biden got in office. I could go further. If niggas support the show, I'll go further with the Joe Biden stuff. But, yo, funny thing is, I've never watched any of the Joe Biden talks at this private event. And you know Joe talked that shit. Let's get it.
Although I've been around a long time, I wasn't there when Adlai Stevens was running for president, but Adlai Stevens had an expression. He said, "Flattery is fine as long as you don't inhale." I look out at all of you, and thank you.
They was loving Joe Biden before he became president, son. They was loving that Joe Biden before he ever became a president. All right? Y'all don't get it. I showed y'all the room. I showed y'all the room. Okay? Showed you the room. We saw Biden get elected. There was a lot of discrepancy on how he got elected. There's a lot of discrepancy on how he let Kamala get in. As a black person, you thought that something would happen to Joe Biden and they would just usher Kamala in. They're making it a more creative story than that. Knowing that they've put everything in place for decades for it to look like Kamala won straight up. Why? Why, Prince? Because of the people in this room. Because of the fight that they have that's against whatever, I guess, regular Americans stand for. And it's just a new way.
Guys, my name is Joe Biden. I'm Jill Biden's husband. That's how I'm known in my family. That's how I'm known by everyone who knows us both. And I'm proud of it. Chad, thank you. Chad, thank you for the kind introduction and for your leadership and commitment to this cause. And it's a cause. I think it is, and I've said this for the last 10 years, it's the civil rights issue of our day.
Here we go again. What did I tell y'all? Yo, this shit is fucking crucial. It's the civil rights of our day. So the civil rights happened back then. We're done with that. That was for the blacks. This is a new civil rights of our day. This before Joe Biden got into the presidency, dog. He was just known as Jill Biden's husband. You don't understand what's happening. They took the civil rights movement not in practice, in law, in legislation, in Congress. Like they're fighting for the Congress and the cabinet where the real law changes are made. And they already have bragged and boasted about how they have, I think it was 67 members in the government. Because, like they say, Texas and all them places that bans, deletion and stuff like that, they're trying to get those people out. Serious shit.
I'm not looking for applause. It's about who we are as a country, who we are as a people. And that's not hyperbole. Folks, I told you before, Chad, for example, gave me credit for coming out early, but it was very late. It was very late, early for marriage equality. I told the team that asked me to join them as vice president that I would not affirmatively
he was
make
vice
the case,
president.
but that if I was asked, I would not remain silent. And
hold on. Oh, that's 2018. Oh no, he was vice president and then he was out. So he's talking about when he was vice president. Okay, that's 2018. So Trump was in. Trump was in right now.
And I've told you this before. This was not difficult for me. It took nothing. It just was, as I told some of you before, I learned early on from my father. It's a simple proposition. I was being dropped off at the City Hall in Wilmington, Delaware, a place called Rodney Square, to get an application to be a lifeguard in the African American community where I wanted to work on the east side in the projects. And I was 17 years old. As I got out of the car, two men dressed in suits, one heading to the Hercules building, the other one heading to the DuPont Company building, leaned over and kissed one another, embraced. And I just turned and looked at my dad. And this is what he said to me. He said, "Joey, it's simple. They love each other. It's simple." My dad was a generous, decent, honorable man who thought that everyone, and I mean everyone, deserved to be treated with dignity. And that's how he treated people. But here's the deal. Also, on behalf of Jill and myself and the entire Biden family, we want to thank the HRC for honoring our deceased son, Attorney General Beau Biden. Back in June, honored him. At the time, one of only a few states in the nation. He also joined with a group of other attorney generals, I believe there are 9 of them, and filing an amicus brief with the Supreme Court to challenge the Defense of Marriage Act. And in June of 2013, he led, as Sarah will tell you, Sarah used to work for my son, Beau. And Sarah said something to me that meant a lot backstage. She said, "I could have never, ever, ever made it without Beau," because Beau understood human dignity. In June of 2013, he led the Gender Identity Non-Discrimination Act, which gave, by legislative, not just by executive order, legislatively dictated that every transgender person, every transgender American deserved the right that every other American had. And so,
I don't know, man. I don't know what this, So Beau, like I try to tell y'all, the rabbit hole is way deeper than we would ever imagine. So Beau was out here fighting. I don't know nothing about Biden or Beau. So Beau died, but he was the leader of the transgender movement. From what people tell me, Hunter Biden was fucking Bo's wife. Man. So this is some wild shit. So Bo was the leader of transgender equality. Like I said, the whole thing, the thing that pissed me off this morning was the media was saying, yo, they don't like Joe Biden. They're mad at Joe Biden. I was like, how is that even true with all the info that I know? These people are together and they've been together for decades. How the fuck would the media push out that Joe Biden has beef with Obama and Kamala? That shit doesn't, it made no sense. I was like, how's that even possible? Joe Biden, truth be told, truth be told, Joe Biden is under Kamala. But I will have you know, he hasn't been under her for, you know, how can I put this? He was under her. He came in under her, but they had plans and they watched this stuff develop to where it would be time for her to step up. It's matter of fact, let's do it. Y'all want to do it? We're going to go, after this one, we're going to go to an older Joe Biden with the same foundation. See, because he's been with these people for decades, but not as long as Kamala Harris. Because Joe Biden just said it himself. He came around late. See what I'm saying? He came around late. You know? It is kind of weird though, because it's like, I guess if you're a little bit older or whatever the case is, say anywhere from, I guess if you have like teenage kids that may be 23 and younger, it's like what Joe Biden and them do. They follow, and Diddy and all them, they follow the new youth trend. And they have power, so they make it the deal. They make it lit. They make it what's up. It's crazy.
He also got in a little bit of trouble with the Marriage Equality Act when the state of Utah, there was someone married and Utah didn't recognize the marriage and they moved to Delaware. He recognized the marriage anyway. And so some of you know my son Hunter, who is as committed and ran the World Food Program USA as an attorney. He feels as strongly as Bo did. And my daughter Ashley runs one of the largest nonprofits in the state and is an absolute acolyte of Bo's and trying to change things. Civil rights, the civil rights debate that continues in America. But what you have done with Chad's leadership is you have taken this movement and not put a different face on it, but a different sense of urgency, the urgency of now. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge my friend and former Attorney General. I thought he was here, he may not be. Eric Holder. Are you here, Eric? Eric was...
I've heard that name before. He's powerful.
The guys, along with... What happened was when I made that announcement on Meet the Press, all of a sudden there was a cascade out of the administration, starting with our Secretary of Education, Arnie Duncan, who's a great guy. But he was great. And tonight's recipient of your HRC Equality Award, a very talented actress who has as much moral courage as she has talent, Anne Hathaway. I don't know where Anne is. And also my good personal friend and friends of his mother and my son, personal privilege.
Biden goes on and on and on. Let me get to the other. I'm going to find the other Biden joint. Let's do a little more Michelle, B.
Our country and this party grow. We have seen people who have never talked about politics before, ever. Not just knocking on doors, but they're voting for the first time. I can't tell you how many people I talked to who said, this is the first time in my life I cast a vote. And they're writing checks and they're knocking on doors because they're all hungry for the change that we need right now. They see it. And Hillary Clinton's historic candidacy banished forever that notion that a woman
there are still so many young people here.
Screw Michelle. These guys got that work. Let's get it.
High and all across America struggling to picture a future, kicked out of their homes, subject to vile practice of conversion therapy. That's why the Biden Foundation created an initiative called As You Are, promoting understanding and acceptance for the safety of LGBTQ youth. This is literally a matter of life and death for so many young people. A 2017 study found that 47% of LGBTQ youth had considered suicide and 23% attempted it. I don't have to tell you how hard it is for these kids, because many of you were these kids. You remember the sleepless nights, the tear in your heart when you first spoke your truth. Coach, I'm gay. Mom, I'm transgender. Even today, how many of you still look down the street who's watching before you give your partner steal a kiss from them?
Let's go.
I suspect many of you have become strong as you are today with the support of those who offered help along the way. Sounds silly, but the teacher who looked out for you in the classroom, the faith leader who reminded you they're all born and created in God's image, the chosen family who filled the void when your biological family wasn't there. That's who I believe we are. And that is the soul of America. This is our real moral obligation. These are not somebody else's children. They're all our children. These children are the kite strings that lift our national ambitions aloft, and how we treat them is the measure of what kind of decency and honor we have as a society.
Let's get it.
Thanks so much. This really means a lot to me, and it's wonderful to be back at a human rights campaign gala. Last time I was with HRC was down in Charlotte, North Carolina, on behalf of another HRC in more sensible times. Still, it's nice to be back in these weirder days, although it doesn't take much to prompt me to come to San Francisco. It's one of my favorite cities in the world. One day I hear San Francisco will be great again, so that's going to be good. I have to admit that I struggled a bit over what to say tonight, partly because I find writing torturous, because writing's torturous, but moreover because I have no idea what the hell is going on right now in our country. I'm baffled. And it's not to say that I don't understand that we have a fucking moron in the White House. And I understand that because, well, his senior cabinet member reportedly said so. And I take his and the press's word on that, at least, because for as long as I've had the misfortune of being conscious of the existence of his now boss, I, too, have believed him to be a fucking moron. So no argument there. I understand that. But many don't see him like that, and I don't understand that. I struggle to understand that an individual who says, as our president, I will do everything in my power to protect our LGBTQ citizens from the violence and oppression of a hateful foreign ideology one day, but then who snuggles up yesterday with a domestic group that distributes pamphlets declaring homosexuality a public health issue. A group also addressed yesterday by the Republican senatorial candidate from Alabama who once said he thinks homosexuality should be illegal, whatever the fuck that means. I struggle to understand how that individual...
Well, looks like we got some real fire here. I'm gonna have to do a whole show on this one. I never seen this video. I didn't know this dude was a part of this. This is Peoples from Shaft. I'm gonna have to make a whole thumbnail and all that for this nigga. Oh yes, we gonna get him. So we gonna come back with another stream.